Hola! So today I wanted to talk to you guys about my eating disorder. That was like a pretty chipper way to say eating disorder, but it's not, it's something that luckily hasn't debilitated me, it hasn't impaired me, and it also is kind of a very specific kind of situation. So a few years ago, I would say maybe about 5 or 6 years ago, which seems so long, but it really wasn't. I was diagnosed with Arfid's. I got a few opinions to make sure, because, you know, I didn't want to start treating something that was untrue. It could have just been an assumption by one doctor. It always pays to get a second opinion. So I got a few opinions. What had been happening was I slowly and gradually stopped eating. It kind of started later into my teens, I guess, when you're more autonomous and, you know, you're not always with your parents, you're the one that's responsible for your eating, is kind of when I started to slip. I just chalked it up to being lazy, and then I did start to lose a substantial amount of weight. And there was only a brief period where I wanted to lose weight, which was also a ridiculous thing, but that was separate to what was going on with my eating. And so what happened was I did lose quite a lot of weight. I graduated high school at 38 kilos. It's definitely not something I'm proud of. It's definitely not something I would recommend. And I did look like I was dying. It wasn't cute, it wasn't pretty, it wasn't attractive, it was not a good thing at all. I knew that, I was aware of that, but it's also a hard thing to address when you are underweight and people will assume that you have anorexia nervosa or you're bulimic or, you know, you're doing some kind of fasting or something like that. People tend to actually be pretty harsh with you about it. People don't shy away from telling you how, not good you look, and it's not a nice thing. It's really not, particularly when I didn't want this to be a sad video. I didn't think it would be a sad video, but now that I'm thinking about it, it actually is bringing back a lot of feelings, because a lot of people will tell you straight to your face that you are underweight, you look like Skeletor, like you need to eat more. You know, they don't shy away from giving you their opinion on how you look. And I guess it was not confronting because I was aware of it, but it was hard to address because I was aware of it. And when people are telling you those things, it's just not nice. It makes it a lot more difficult. People did assume that I was anorexic, and the truth is I have Arfid's, ARFIDS, and that means I forgot what the A meant. Avoidant restrictive food intake disorder, similar to that of a fear of foods or eating or just the digestive process. There's a lot of reasons why people have that. Sometimes it's emotionally driven, sometimes it's more of a tactile thing. For me, it was kind of both, really. I guess it was a way to control what was going on with my body, with me, all of that stuff. But on top of that, I don't like chewing. I don't like when there's multiple... Oh, sorry. Speaking of eating disorders, I actually just ate a whole lot, which is going to tie into the end of this video, and we'll get into that, how I overcome it, all of that. But I don't like chewing. I don't like there to be a lot of different ingredients. Not ingredients because, you know, there's cakes and there's pastas and all of that, but I don't like it to be, you know, when you have a salsa and it's like I'm eating the bit of the tomato and then there's the bit of the capsicum and all of that. I don't like that. there are certain pizzas I do like and certain pizzas I don't like, and it really only comes down to, am I going to be tasting different ingredients at the same time? I hate that so much. That's something that I actually still struggle with, and I do still struggle with it a little bit, not as much as I used to. It was something that I've managed to overcome. As I said, it hasn't impaired me, it hasn't caused any great harm to me. I was substantially underweight, sorry, for a long time. I'm not I think I'm close to being underweight, but I'm not quite underweight, luckily. I am also 6'1", so you know, the weight I should be is relatively high. But I'm healthy. I'm eating a lot. The unfortunate thing with Arfids is how you overcome it is you just have to eat. You just have to constantly eat, and you have to eat a lot. That was really difficult, so I started out only eating mud cake. I would eat so much mud cake. I would always drink Sustagen. I actually have started drinking Sustagen again as a part of me trying to gain weight, which I have mentioned in a previous video. Go and have a look at my videos, you know, subscribe, like, all of that stuff. But yeah, I started out, I would only eat mud cake, and I would drink a lot of chocolate milk, and that didn't go on for long. It wasn't like 2 years of me only eating mud cake, but it just was an easy way for me to do that, to start eating. I love sandwiches. I've always loved sandwiches. There just were certain things that I just couldn't eat. I could never eat meats, which is a good thing, really. I would avoid a lot of foods. Anyone that knows me, anyone that follows me, anyone that follows my Instagram or my Snapchat, you'll know how much I order in. The reason for that is I can't bring myself to cook. I kind of play it off as like a decision I've made to like not cook, but it's actually, it's really difficult for me to go through the process of cooking. I just don't enjoy it. And it's a hard thing to admit, because it's what all people do. You cook food and then you eat it. So it's really hard to admit that I don't have that relationship with food. I also don't enjoy sitting down for a meal. That is one that people don't notice as much as they notice me only eating packet food, fast food, snack foods. I actually, the reason I eat those is because, one, I don't have to prepare them, but two, there's not a huge investment in time and chewing and digesting and just the whole rigmarole of eating. There's not a huge investment in eating snacks and fast food, because they're made to not be as hard to eat, because that's how they sell them. You know, they put a lot of sugar in them, and you can down a whole pack of chips like that. You know, we all know that. It's all easy to eat. This video is a lot harder than I thought it would be. I thought it would just be like, this is what it is, and this is how it was, and now I'm fine. Now I'm trying to gain weight. But it's actually quite confronting, and it's a little scary to open up about this, because I haven't. I haven't even told my family about this at all. It's something I've kept to myself for, about 5-6 years, and just worked on it myself. And, you know, there's still the assumptions that I'm underweight, that I'm trying to lose weight. When I've spent a lot of time trying to make sure that I eat, and that I continue to eat, and that I eat relatively well, and that I don't fall below a certain weight. And so those assumptions sometimes do hurt me. And something else, like, it's very hard in the beginning, particularly for me. I was very underweight, and people aren't afraid to tell you what they think of that, what they think of you, what they think of how you look. And I looked like I was dying. I really did. And I was embarrassed by that, and it's it's a hard thing when people think you're doing it to yourself intentionally. And it caused a lot of problems where I then did try to pass it off as though I was doing it to myself intentionally. Because then if it was my decision, I guess it was my decision and people were just disagreeing with my decision. But the truth was I wasn't actually doing it to myself. And you know, I would look in the mirror and I would see someone that, you know, looked like they were AIDS wasting. And then people would say to me, oh, you're anorexic, you're starving yourself, you're really underweight, like, it's not a good look, you're just trying to be thin. I knew it wasn't a good look, and so it was even more confronting to hear those from people. I've never opened up about this. This is actually really difficult. There's just certain things about eating I don't enjoy. And certain foods I don't like. I don't like to taste a lot of things while I'm eating. You know, like I can have a pizza, I can have a burger. There's a lot of ingredients in that, but you eat it and it's one flavor. Whereas if you have a salsa, you know, there's the avocado. I'm thinking of guacamole. But a salsa, you know, there's the tomato paste, sauce, whatever it is. And then there's the pieces of tomato. Then there's the pieces of capsicum. And there's these different pieces of different things that you're tasting all at the same time. And it's not just one flavor. And you have to eat through these different textures. And it's just a lot. I don't really like spaghetti bolognese for that reason. Which we had a lot of spaghetti bolognese growing up. But I actually really like the taste of spaghetti bolognese, which is odd, and I used to love spaghetti and meatballs, but it's the tactile of chewing and all of that I could never get on board with. I've never enjoyed. And something I didn't notice until after I had finished high school. So when I was in high school, I would have snacks for lunch. I would have sandwiches, muesli bars, and Up and Go. Just, you know, small things, make it through the day. And then as often as I could, I would have dinner by myself. And I never really thought about it. I never really thought about it until after high school and I was studying and we all had to eat together is when I realized that, because one, I was doing more. So, I was hungry more often. I also was trying to gain weight, so I wanted to eat more. And I had less time in my day, so I had to eat when people were around, and that's when it became clear to me that I actually had a bit of an issue with eating in front of people, which I don't like to admit. I don't like to admit any of this. It's I don't want to say I'm embarrassed. I'm not embarrassed because it's just how it is, but right now, as I'm making this, I am having hesitations about uploading it. Trying to justify with myself why I should share this with people. I know why I should share it with people because it's important and there are other people going through it, and I'm trying to gain weight now and I want to be transparent about what that means to me. And if I upload it, I upload it. So I am at a point now where I would like to gain weight. I'm trying to gain weight. I have started hormones so I can gain weight in the right places. I have previously taken hormones. It's something I discussed in one of my previous videos. I didn't realize this was going to be so hard. But it is. And I honestly really haven't talked about it to anyone. For whatever reason, I've never felt like it was necessary. I guess it is. Especially if I feel like this talking about it, then yeah, it probably is really necessary to share with other people that might be going through it, people that know me that maybe don't. understand some of my eating habits, I need to make this video and I need to share it. So I am going to do that. I want to gain weight now. I have spent the last however many years trying to just get in a place where I can eat 3 meals a day, every day, and that's not always easy. For a lot of people, it's just instinct and it's habit, but for me, eating is a decision I have to make every day. Yeah, this is way tougher than I thought it would be. You know, the things that I share with you guys, like, I talk about pretty much everything, and, you know, I have no worries about it, you know. It's not like I'm worried what people will think. It's not like I'm worried that you guys are going to know some intimate detail about my life. It's actually just really hard to, I guess, confront that this is the truth, because it is slightly embarrassing that I can't, just have a meal. It brings up a lot of feelings for me, and clearly those feelings aren't easy for me to deal with. So I wish I had filmed this video at the end of the day, because I still have some other videos to film, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. As I said, I'm going to try and... Oh my god, I'm like, this isn't good. As I said, I'm going to try and gain weight. I've started taking hormones again so that the fat can grow in the right places. I am going to be seeing a nutritionist and a doctor. The nutritionist, I've already spoken to the nutritionist, and he's not happy with how I'm going to do this. So, I am going, and I don't recommend this to anyone. I don't recommend, I know my body, I know what I can and can't do, I know what is and isn't possible. I am going to make sure every meal is large, and I am also going to have, like, I would call it like a binge meal once a week, where I have a lot of food, and those ones I will film. I'll do like an eating show or like a mukbang. That way it can just be more than a meal to me. That will probably be a good way for me to do that, is make sure that there's more to it than me just sitting down, facing the food and eating, you know, because that isn't always easy for me. So I will be trying to gain weight. I have spoken to my doctor. I will be taking a medication to help me gain weight, and gain weight fast. The reason I want to gain weight is because, and look, I'm not trying to get like big and fat and huge and like, you know, blubbery, but I would like to be bigger, and I would like to, you know, be softer and not so bony. But even in saying that, I will always kind of, I would have to gain a lot of weight for my body to change. I have gained a lot of weight in the past. There was a time where I would eat, and this is another thing. So I would go through phases where I would binge eat all day, every day for like weeks on end. And I would just like, I would gain a lot of weight, and then I'd lose it like that. I'd stop eating, and that always led me to believe it was about dieting, because I just was thinking, well, maybe I tried to do that because I saw I had gained weight, and it never really was about that. Anyway, I'm off track. People that know me know I will go through periods where I only eat one thing. When I first, there was a few years ago where I would every day have 2 buckets of M&Ms. You can get those party buckets. I would have them. I would take them with me to work. I would have them everywhere I go. I would just like carry a party bucket of M&Ms. You know, I'll go through phases where I'll drink one particular kind of soft drink, order one particular meal from one particular restaurant, and it will just be like that. I'm trying to overcome that. I'm trying to stop that. Sometimes it's stress related, sometimes it's not. I don't want to make it seem like I'm not eating anymore. I'm eating. I really am. I eat every day. I don't always eat well. I'm just very aware of how I eat now. Since finding out that I have Arfids and that it's something I need to overcome. It's something I am overcoming and I'll continue to overcome. And hopefully one day I can just forget it ever happened. But until then, I need to push myself to, one, try and gain weight, get myself in a place where I can just not have to... And it's not even like I think about it. Like, when I'm hungry, I eat. Now, that wasn't always the case. Sometimes I would be hungry and I just wouldn't eat because the hunger wouldn't outweigh the just discomfort of eating. I'm past that point where if I'm hungry, I eat. And not that I want to get into a place where I eat all the time, every day. Like, I eat non-stop. I eat to, you know, feed my feelings or anything like that. But it would be nice to just not think about it. To just know that every day I'm going to have my 3 meals, 2 snacks, whatever it is that I you know, need to do, but sometimes I don't. Yeah, so this has been kind of a rough video, and had I known it would be so emotional, I would have taken down some dot points. I thought it would be easy breezy to talk about. Again, this is the first time I'm opening up about it. It's something I've kept to myself for years. It's probably my biggest and only secret. Not that it's like a secret, like, not that I didn't want anyone to find out. I just didn't find it necessary to tell anyone, for whatever reason. And now I'm telling everyone. So we'll see how that works out for me. If you have Arfids, if anyone you know has Arfids, if you suspect that somebody you know may have Arfids, I don't know, give them this video. Go, you know, definitely see a doctor. Get as much help as you can. There are people that it really impairs and it ruins their life and it cripples them. They lose their eyesight, their hearing, all of that stuff. It can be really dangerous. Luckily for me, that wasn't the case. I managed to work through it and I am doing better. So, I don't know how to end a video like this. Like and subscribe, hit the bell notification to get notifications when I upload. I'll be uploading a lot more often than I used to. I have some really cool stuff coming out later this year, so it could be a fun idea. I don't know. Like and subscribe. Let me know if you have any issues with eating, you know anyone. Let's have a conversation about this. I don't really like to ask for people to, like, comment on my videos. If you want to comment, you'll comment, but I think something like this there needs to be more conversation about it regardless, whether it's on my video or not. But it is something I'd like to talk about and like to be honest about, and I'm going to start showing you guys me eating, what I eat, what I like, if I'm gaining weight, how I'm gaining weight, what I'm doing to gain weight, if I'm working out, if I'm just binge eating. All of that stuff, we're going to go down this road together because I think it will be the best way for me to take my mind off it while I do it. So this is mainly about me, really. What a surprise. But thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening. And thank you for subscribing. Bye!